So, as you mentioned, we're going to paraphrase the question and we're going to have an outline statement. So what can we do to paraphrase? So what can we do to paraphrase? Yeah. Shubham, yeah. Hannibal, duck, yeah. So to paraphrase, yeah. So synonyms, yeah. Voice, verb form, yeah. One more, word order. Okay, very good. Everyone's up to speed on this. This is good. Well done. Zinette, yeah, if you could say that. Okay. So in something around the world, so how are we going to change large cities? Yeah, metropolitan, mega cities, okay. Urban cities, well, maybe urban centers, good. So we've changed that. So people waste hours of their time. So a great deal of time. So what we're going to change that into. So good. A lot of people have got urban centers, good. Just going to move the chat box so I can see. So a great deal of time. Okay. Duck, yeah, good. Dana, good. Augustina, good. Duck, good. Is wasted. So every day. So what would we change that to? Just one word. Nia, good. Abdullah, good. Duck, good. Arfan, yeah, good. Mila, Hong, yeah, good, good, good. Daily, yeah, good. Because of, so think of another way to rephrase this. Two words. Beatrice, Siddharth, yeah, good. Danu, good. Shu, good. Augustina, good. Daphne, well done. I have, so due to. Traffic, so Fayez, good. Jack, good. Neo, good. Well done. Traffic jams, okay. So we're going to explain the problem. This is a serious issue because it affects people's livelihoods and mental what? So think about people driving a car. Neo, good. Gada, good. Nitu, yeah. Could also use that. Daphne, good. Augustina, good. Okay, good. Health. Asthma, good. Okay, so yeah, number of Divya, that could also work as well. That's fine. So we'll put our outline statement at the end. This essay will consider the main causes of traffic congestion before proposing two solutions. So what's going to go in the gap there? Hannibal, good. Zinette could possibly work as well. Leonie, yeah. Vu, yeah, feasible. So a number of different words, we've put possible solutions. Okay. So we've used synonyms, voice, word form, word order to transform that. Okay. So that's our intro. So let's have a look at body A. So we said lack of transportation, public transport, yeah, and also the same working schedule. So let's have a look and see if you can fill in the gaps. So we'll state the cause first. So perhaps the most important cause of traffic problems in cities. So let me just move that so I can see, just a sec. In cities is lack of public transport. Okay. That's it. Just close this down. That's it. Just so I can see. Good. So we'll explain it. With many people choose to use private car. So what could we put in that gap there? So there's a number of words would go in there. There's a word beginning with A, word beginning with O could also go in. Neo, good. Duck, good. So we've put alternatives, options would also work as well. As it is quicker and more, so what would we put in that gap? So think about something that's easy to do. Savabek, good. Hong, good. Siddharth, Danu, Haniva, okay. So we put convenient. So we'll put the result. As a result, so what we're going to put there, particularly on popular. So think about a way you go somewhere. How would you describe that? Popular what? Beginning with R. Well, Alexi, good. So we've chosen routes. I guess roads would also work. The same, really. So we'll give an example, such as main roads. Okay. Now, we'll state the cause. Another key factor is, so uniform working hours across the city. Yeah. So uniform working hours means basically everyone has the same. Explain the cause. The of people. So what are we going to put in that gap? Zacher, yeah. Summer or Zoma, Hanover, good. Yeah. Okay, let's have a look. Good. So we can say the majority of people start and finish work or school at the same time. So the result is, so we look at the result of the cause. This means that roads become extremely at certain times of the day. So what do you think would go in that gap? Think about if you've got a cold, you say my nose is extremely something. So think of a word. Yeah, gather, you've got it. Augustina got it. Chickadilly, good. Okay, good. Congested at certain times of the day. We'll give an example. For instance, at something in the mornings and evening. Asthma, good. You're very quick. Soma, good. Nusha, good. Hessen, good. Good. Rush hour in the mornings and the evenings. Okay, very good. Nandu, you could change that to peak hours. Yeah, so that would also work. So let's have a look at our linking words. Perhaps the most important cause of, as a result, such as, another key factor is, this means that, for instance. Okay. Can you think of another way of saying as a result? Another way of saying as a result? Mm-hmm. As a consequence, yeah. So it's a good idea, obviously, you're just varying your vocabulary. Yeah, so there we've got, for instance, then we could use, for example, further down or further on. Okay, so let's have a look at our verb forms. Choose is quicker, is, start and finish, become, and then our vocabulary with few alternatives, quicker and more, convenient, particularly uniform working hours, rush hour, extremely congested. Let's have a look at paragraph B. So we said invest more in public transport, and then public facilities should start at different times. Okay. So let's have a topic sentence. Fortunately, so now we're showing an alternative. What do you think would go in this gap? There's a slight delay. Yeah, hon, good. Slight delay on the chat box. So fortunately, however, there are two promising solutions to this. State the solution. So first of all, local governments invest more in public transport infrastructure. So what we're going to put in that gap there. Idris, yeah. Fadila, good. Okay, Pepper or Popper, good. So should. And then we'll explain our solution and how it solves the problem. So make this option more attractive and reduce the number of cars on the road. So what we're going to put in that. Okay, Enver, Yeah, that could possibly work, yeah. What else? So there's a slight delay on the chat box. So I'll just wait a few seconds for you. Okay, so would, all right. More attractive and reduce the number of cars on the road. So we'll give an example. So for example, so you notice we used for instance before, now we use for example, so we're showing a variation on our vocabulary. In my city, the council has created a network of cycle paths which people to cycle to work. What do you think is going to go in that gap? So, yeah, think of another word, Daphne. Zoma, yeah, good. So if you're supporting your local football team or basketball team or whatever you support, you would give them, or you would do what? Let's have a look. So we would say encourage people to cycle to work. Right, let's have a look. We'll state the solution. So secondly, the city government introduced different working hours for schools and public facilities. Harmony, yeah, I guess you could use that. Kalina, yeah, Daphne, good. Toa, yeah. So could introduce different working hours for schools and public facilities. So we'll explain the solutions and how it solves the problem, which further cut down on the number of commuters traveling at particular times. Neo, Beatrice. So we'll use would there. So we look at our linking words. However, so we got first of all, should, would, for example, secondly, could, would. Yeah. Verb forms, so we've got should and could there for a solution. We've got would for the effect of the solution. Okay. And then our vocab. Two promising solutions make this option more attractive. A network of cycle paths. Cut down commuters. So some good vocabulary for you to use if you get an essay topic on traffic congestion. Right, conclusion. So how are you going to begin your conclusion? What are you going to use? How would you begin? Yeah, Elias, yeah. Fadila, yeah. Kalina, good. Yosi, yeah. Elzina, good. Ravi, yeah. Right. So we'll summarize the causes. So we'll begin with our transition signal. You must make sure you've got this on your essay. Otherwise, the examiner will not know it's your clear conclusion. Okay? So some of you gave some good examples there. We can use in conclusion to sum up, in summary. Yeah. Good. So traffic congestion is a serious problem, which is primarily caused by what? What are we going to put in there? What do you think we put in that gap? Okay. Pharmacist, blessing, yeah, both would work. So we chose limited. You could have put a lack of, yeah. Along with the shared working schedule of many city what? So someone that lives in a city, how are you going to describe them? Okay, Chickadilly, yeah. So let's have a look. City dwellers, okay, city dwellers. So we'll restate the solutions. I recommend that. Governments, something this issue by, what are we going to put in there? Okay, there's a slight delay, so I'll wait for it to catch up. Dano, yeah, that could work, yeah. Femi, yeah, Alexi, good. Nice and formal. So address this issue. Alea, yeah, that would also work. By investing in public transport, what? So think of a word beginning with I. So airports, railways, hotels, shopping malls. So think of one word to describe them all. So beginning with I. So I'll just wait for everyone to catch up. Well, for the chatbot to catch up, the chat box. Okay, let's have a look. Rock, yes, good. And Spizina, yeah, good. Infrastructure. And something varied working hours in public facilities. So what could we put in that gap? So what could we put in that gap there? Let's have a look. Yeah, implementing would work, but needs to be begin with an I. Okay, let's have a look. Yeah, implementing. Okay. Implementing, introducing. Yeah, both would work. Good. Well done, everyone. Good job. So Let's have a look. So there's the whole essay. So we've got 272 words. We've got a big band 9. All right. So we've got a good range of vocabulary running through, and it's accurate. So you want to try working on your vocabulary, making sure you use it appropriately and accurately. Okay. So for our review, what have we done? We've analyzed the question. So we decided on our overall response, and then we thought about some supporting reasons and examples. And then we used appropriate linking expressions. Okay. Now, make sure once you've finished or when you're practicing, one thing you can do when you're practicing is time yourself. Use your phone. You put yourself under exam conditions, okay? And then give yourself time at the end to check your grammar and spelling. All right? So always make sure you have time for editing or proofreading. Okay. Now, before we go on the Q&A, there's a couple of links there for you. Now, I did actually put these links at the beginning of the chat box. So if you want to copy and paste them, you can. So we've got our premium services for speaking and writing evaluation. So you might want to use those to get a general idea of what kind of score you're going to get in the IELTS test. Up and coming webinars, so we've got a link for that. We've got listening and reading videos. We've got our YouTube channel, so you can catch up on any webinars that you've missed. And also we have our Facebook group. And the link I gave you at the beginning of the chat box is for speaking assessments. So you can have your speaking assessed by IELTS expert teacher, former examiner, and they will give you an approximate band score, tell you where you can improve. So if you want those links, have a look on the website. You can scroll up to the top of the chat box where I've pasted them, so you'll be able to just copy and paste them on a document. Now, let's have a look and see what Q&A we've got. So it might take a little while to open. Sagar, can you please tell me if general and academic writing part 2 are the same? No. So they're both different. So for the general, you will get an essay question, yeah, but it'll be simpler. And task 1, you will have to write a letter. Okay. So there are slight differences. So it's not such a complex question that you would get for general. Okay. Can we divide the body into 3 paragraphs in the diagram question, Anshul? I think are you talking about something like a process or a flow chart or something like that? There's no reason why you couldn't. Yeah, but usually the standard format is probably going to be 2 paragraphs. You'll have your introductory sentence, your overview, and then body paragraphs, but there's no reason you couldn't do that. Remember, there's no limit, but you're limited to words, so no less than 150 for task 1, no less than 250 for task 2. Can we see the word count in the computer-based tests? Anonymous asks. Now, is that for your writing? So how many? That's a good question. I'm assuming you probably would be able to copy, well, you'd be able to drag over your number of words, but I'm not 100% sure on that, Anonymous. It's a good question. Yeah. Nusha asked, are there webinars for task one? Yes. If you look on the website, I think you will find the next one coming up as a map, I think. Yeah. But if you have a look on our YouTube channel, you should be able to find some on task one as well. Fayek, why did you use two ideas in the same paragraph? There's no real reason not to, Fayek. Yeah, there would be no reason to have another separate paragraph for that. Yeah. Okay, Saga, we answered that. Ahab says, I'm very new to IELTS. I don't know how to start or from where to start. I need advice. Right, so the first thing you need to do is have a look at some materials on our website, IELTS Online Tests. You can do some practice tests with, listening and reading. Look on the internet and then you'll be able to get the band descriptors for listening, reading. Writing and speaking, now, they are active skills where you're producing language. So it's a good idea if you have a teacher, all right? So a teacher can help to correct your speaking, show you where you're going wrong, and also do the same for your writing. Yeah, it's really important for speaking and writing to have a teacher. But review some of the topics. Don't just practice your test-taking skills. Remember, you should be practicing your basically your overall language skills. Yeah, that means read some books on subjects that you're interested in so you don't get bored. Do some listening, some TED Talks, something like that, as well as do some test practice. Okay, so now someone said, how many paragraphs do we write? There's no exact limit, but you're limited to 250 words. So you're not likely to write more than 5 paragraphs because you would run out of time. So your essay is going to be between 4 and 5. Okay. BS, when will IELTS centres open in the Punjab? Good question. I've no idea. The situation is very different country to country based on what's happening with the virus. So it's really difficult to say when things are going to happen country to country. Anonymous said I wrote firm A and firm B in my answer while the graph said company A and company B. No, you shouldn't lose marks for that. That's fine. Yeah. So you're just using different words, synonyms, so that's fine. Enver, how many causes or solutions should we provide? Well, we did 2 there, so that's fine. Yeah, no problem. So we looked at a number of causes and a number of solutions, so that would be fine. You can, Shauna, put both causes in body A. Yeah, there's no reason why you can't do that. Yeah. Enver says, we think, we believe. Don't use we, all right? It's better not to use we. Yeah. So, I believe is fine. Yeah. We, you're not writing the essay with someone else, all right? So, now I can see people sharing their contact details. Now, remember, we can't take any responsibility for what happens if you're sharing your contact details in the chat box. Okay, guys? Yeah, I think I've answered that question. Yeah, this means that. That's fine. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to use that Hong. You can use something else, but that would be perfectly fine. Fayek, I think I've answered that question. Darina, is it a problem if my letter is a bit more informal? Well, it depends on what type of letter it is. So remember, you have formal and informal letters. So you might be writing a letter of complaint. You might be writing for a job, to a university. So that's going to be formal. If you're writing to a friend, then it's going to be informal. You can also have semi-formal as well. Okay. Why make this option more attractive? I'd have to go back, hang on. Let me just let's see. Oops. Just a second, guys. I need to close that off. So I'll put that there for you. Anonymous says, is 207 words too much for task one? Not if you can finish in the time. There's no reason you couldn't write 207 words. If you can finish, remember there's no word limit in the fact of writing too much. Yeah. Elias, you'll have to take a screenshot. I'm afraid I can't send the document. That. Right. Just give me a second. The chat box, the Q&A is just not responding at the moment, so just give me 1 second, all right? And then I shall have a look. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about writing too much. The examiner probably not be too happy if they get very long task one and task two, but yeah, if you can finish in the time, that's fine. Let's have a look. Now, Rick says, oh no, hang on before we get to Rick. Do we have to write, we'll discuss problem and possible solutions. So yeah, in this one, we just discussed the causes and then the possible solutions in this essay. So Nitu, the only difference is you'll still get an essay question in general training, but it'll be simpler. It'll not be as complex as the academic. All right. Abdullah, how much time should I spend to get 7 in writing? It depends on what level you are now. So if you're 5 and then you want to get a 7, then obviously it's going to take a good few months. Yeah, now 7, you have to remember for grammar and lexis, frequent error-free sentences. Yeah, for both grammar and lexis. So you need to, what happens is when people are improving, then usually they're able to do well in task response and cohesion with words like in conclusion, furthermore, moreover, in addition, you know, using good vocabulary that way, but there might be too many errors with grammar and lexis. So that brings us on to another question that someone asked there, Rock, how can you improve vocabulary? So there are some books that you can get which are topic specific. So you could look at those. IELTS vocabulary books, there's some good ones out there. So look at the academic word list and also academic collocation list. So they will help you. Yeah. Is it good just to study Cambridge tests only? Well, you know, there's lots of those books, yeah. There's nothing wrong with studying those. But I would do a mixture of preparation, yeah. So a mixture, so I would do a mixture of test practice and also in your leisure time, watch movies, listen to TED Talks, read, yeah, read English newspapers, for example, yeah. So which test is the easiest, the computer-based or the paper-based? The test itself is the same, yeah. So there's no difference in the test, it's just how quick you can type. So if you're quick at typing, then that's not a problem. Yeah, if you're not, then I would go for the paper. If the questions are different, can we use a similar writing style? Well, it depends. So if it's an opinion, then obviously you're going to have a thesis statement and you might have a strong opinion, you might be partly. Yeah, if it's discuss, it might be discuss both sides and give your opinion, or just discuss both sides without an opinion. Might be advantages, disadvantages, Sagar. So there are some differences, yeah. But you can check out our other videos on the YouTube channel or come to the next webinars. Kerry, I would avoid templates really because it depends what the question is and you can't always use them. Yeah. Which test would lead us to score a better band score, computer or pen? I think that goes back to my previous answer. It depends on how quick you type. The test, remember, is just a test. It's just a medium of delivery that's different, okay? One is paper, one is on a computer. Are there any websites we can use to test ourselves? Really, well, you can use the tests on IELTS online tests. So we've got lots of free tests on our website. Well, thesis statement and outline statement are slightly different. We're going to have a clear opinion in a thesis statement, Danu, sorry. In my opinion, yeah. Can I write with a pencil? Elisa, yes. In fact, you do get given a free pencil and a eraser from the British Council. Probably the most expensive pencil and eraser you will ever get, but you do get given one to keep. Okay. Why in body B use could instead of can? Because it's a so can is stronger. Yeah, could, it's a possibility. Yeah. Someone's asked me about the word count on the computer based. I would say you probably can, but I don't know. Oops. Don't know what happened there. So yeah, I would imagine you can just scroll over it and it'll help. There we go. Okay. What is my full name? What is a good way of answering what is your full name? So you could just say, my first name or my given name is Stephen. My last name or my surname is Emerson. Yeah. So my first name is John, or my given name is John. My family name is Smith, or my surname is Smith. Okay. Jingson, I'm not sure what will be the same IELTS indicator as the normal IELTS test. I think you might mean if you're getting an assessment for speaking or writing. Well, it'll be with an ex-examiner, so it should be almost exactly the same. Good, Ehab. I'm glad your writing has become clearer. That's good. Correa says, what's the ideal number of sentences in body paragraphs? There isn't really. Yeah. So there isn't an ideal number of sentences. A lot of people wonder about that, but there isn't really a certain number of sentences per body paragraph. You can find the recording on YouTube, Carla. It should go on to YouTube. So Maseha says, it's been 2 months that I've been studying for the IELTS exam, but I still feel I'm not ready for the exam. I study 7 hours a day. I also have a bit of a problem with the writing test. What should I do? Well, just because you study 7 hours a day doesn't mean it's effective study. Yeah. So, you know, maybe study a little bit less, but maybe improve the quality of what you do. Well, it's difficult to say unless I know you personally, or you have a teacher that's helping you really. Okay. So sometimes students study too much and they get too anxious. Yeah, and that is going to be a problem. So maybe study a little bit less. See, if you're practicing your reading and listening skills by reading something you're interested in, or listening to something you're interested in, like a TED talk, it makes it a lot easier. If you're just doing test practice all the time, you get bored, it's difficult to concentrate. So mix it up. So Jing Sun, indicator, yeah, IELTS indicator. Well, yeah, it's given by examiners anyhow. So I don't know how popular that has actually been, but I know they just introduced that. Papa Rose, what can I do if I want to practice writing on your website? Yeah, you can pay, and you'll have one of our IELTS expert teachers to assess it for you. They'll assess it and then give you some advice on where you need to improve. What is the difference between do you agree or disagree, and to what extent do you agree or disagree? They're basically the same. Yeah. So to what extent, it means how much do you agree with this or disagree with. So you might have a strong opinion on something. So let's just say, for example, it was animal rights or something like that. You might feel strongly about that, experiments on, you know, animals. Right. So, Idris, you'd have to get on to our website to have your essays checked. Okay. Righto, guys, time to disappear. I'm glad you found it useful, and nice to see so many people coming to the webinars, and for the first time or for numerous times. So check out the next webinars that are coming up, and I will see you soon if I can stop the webinar. So it might take a little time to stop the webinar, but see you soon. Bye for now, and keep up the good work and keep practicing. Bye, guys.